Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this video, I wanted to show you guys what I made with the Czech Beads exclusive monthly subscription box. The box was for September and it's called Fall Inspiration. And this is the necklace design that I made with the box. Now, I usually do videos on how I came about the design and tell you my little process of elimination of the beads and charms and stuff, and why I ended up making what I made, just my design process in general. So when I got this box and I started, and by the way, you can still get the box at the time I'm filming this up until the end of September, the very last day. So I will link the box down there below in the description bar, and if you like what I got, you can go buy the box, come back here, copy my pattern, and you have all of these beads here left over to do whatever you want with, okay? And I would have done more designs, but since this is not the only box I get, I actually have 6 designs that I've been working on. So yeah, I have a ginkgo bracelet that I can't wait to show you guys. I have 2 other necklaces designed. I did a stretch bracelet, and these earrings here, which are actually from another box, but I ended up using the 4mm Czech fire polish beads in the Capri Blue matte for these earrings. So that's why I have them here, because these cat earrings are actually from another subscription, but I ended up using the fire polish beads in the top there because I thought the colors were so pretty together. Anyways, let's go over this design. So when I opened the box, I got this cab, and I first started with this. I'm like, I got to bezel this, and so I was working on bezeling it, and I was not able to do it because of my beads that I have here. I was trying to use these beads, the 4mm blue, and the cube beads and seed beads. Whenever I get this box, any box, I put a rule on myself that I have to use what I get in the box and use only basic necessity things from my stash, because I want everybody to be able to make the same thing that I'm making. Make sense? So I ended up trying to bezel this cab, and it was not working out, so I gave up on it, and I realized I needed to go in another direction. So I'll put that off to the side. The next thing in the box that I really loved was this little bee here. And it looks like it's a pendant or a charm, but it's actually a connector. So I'm going to zoom in, adjust the camera here. Now if you look closely at this little guy, there is a little loop here, and there's one on each wing. Now normally I would think to flip him the other direction, right? Because he's actually upside down. And I thought what I could do is have him dangle as a pendant, so I would put it on a jump ring, right, hanging right side up, and then I would do this little loop of beads here at the bottom of him. But I thought, what if I flipped him over, and instead of doing that, what if I had a charm down here, and I still did the loop, but what if I connected, you could see, actually use the same holes to do the loop and for the rest of the necklace. So I'm like, let's flip them upside down, and I did, and I like it much better. I actually think it's more interesting than the other way. And I think I've gotten this little bead charm a couple of times. I think I've got them in silver in the past. So anyways, I will try and link the bee down there below in the description bar. I think you get 4 in a pack. He's really awesome. I think this would also look amazing as earrings. Now as earrings, it probably would be better if I flipped him right side up, because then I could put the earring finding at the top of his head, right? But I just thought he was a really cool connector, and he was really interesting. So for the beads, I really wanted to use these rose petal beads here. That's what they're called, okay? And I got 5 of them. Now here's the thing, this is called Slipperit, the color on them, and the color has 2 sides. So as you could see, this is the top of the flower. There's an indentation here, and then this side, this is the top as well. See this side here, it's sticking up. So I got 3 of them that had the coating that was the same. So see, this one, and the pendant, these are all the same, but this one, the coating was in the top. So I just thought, you know what, I love that color so much. The copper color is beautiful, but I would rather this be up. So I just use them backwards. So this is the back side that I use facing up, and this is the top. And I think it looks interesting because the back is also really pretty with how it's raised. So I did that, okay? So back out again. Now, let's eliminate some of these baggies here. These are cathedral beads. I love these to death. I just need to go buy some more, maybe, because I've always wanted to make a rosary with cathedral beads and just have them in this, a rosary in this color. If you did not see my rosary tutorial, I did a hand knotted one. I prefer it over the wire work one. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a picture for that. So I've always wanted to make a rosary with cathedral beads because I just think it would be probably the prettiest one. But anyways, I am hoarding these. I plan to hoard these for a rosary necklace in the future. So that's why I didn't use those. And plus I didn't have like enough of, you know, all the colors were kind of different. Now I did want to use these, but these here are a light copper color. So I decided against those. And I totally had these in the design. These were throughout the whole necklace, and I realized it was too long. Because of how I had the pendant down here, I realized I needed to take them out. So I ended up eliminating them, but I did have them in the design. I didn't use the bird because I ended up using the bee, and I didn't use these because I used the AB. So these are olivine AB, and these ones have a bronze luster, so that's why I didn't use those. And I almost used these. I tried really hard, but I had a hard time because of the number. If I had 6, I probably would have used them because there's 5 here. So if you look at the necklace, okay, I'll point this out. We got these Czech crackle beads in 3 different colors: the gold, light blue, and this like turquoisey teal color, right? So you could see all 5 beads. And so I would have liked to have had like this gold color here, and I think up here I was going to do, and I think I wanted to do 2 down here, but it just wasn't working out, and also it made it too long, so I had to eliminate it because this necklace needed to be shorter, and I didn't use those because I ended up doing the other one. And I totally tried to get these 2 in the design. Instead of doing these, I was going to use these. So I was going to have this one here, and this one was going to be here and here. But this is Capri Blue, which is the same as these 4mm fire polish beads, and I realized that it was kind of clashing, and so I brought this in just to see what it would look like, and I'm like, whoa, this makes this pull together more. So I realized I had to eliminate those because this here just looked better with the petals, in my opinion. So I eliminated those. And I also tried to use these. I was going to use them up here in place of these. Okay, but again, I was making it too long. And these are my leftovers. So I have an AB 6mm. I have 4 cubes left. And these here. Oh, and these, I forgot to mention. These, it's kind of like slippery. These are 6mm Czech fire polish bead. Right? And see how there's peach on one side, the other side has this like metallic rainbow looking color. So yeah, I use these because it's pretty much the same as this petal bead. Okay, so I just had 2 of those left over. Okay, so those are left over. And then I actually wanted to use these 2 for dangles, and I could not because the holes are tinier. Super tiny holes. Do you see how small it is? So on these ones here I did 8mm jump rings. And I went through my stash and found a thin gauge wire. I don't think it's 20. It might be like a 22 gauge. Probably the thickness, but it fits in these here. So I can use them as dangles. Okay? And I have those left over. And I have this thing, because I couldn't use the 8mm size, I'm like, well, I don't want to use the 6 because those go together. And I would like to use them in the same project, but that's just me. I did try to use these. I tried to use these to bezel the cabochon. I thought, because in the past, I did a bracelet that was with flowers, I did these petal beads for flowers. I did 2-hole dagger beads, and these were also in the center flower. And I'm trying to remember the other ones. But anyways, I ended up doing flowers that I bezeled. I used the petal beads to bezel a cabochon. And so I was trying to do that with these, and it was not working out. But I'll put a picture up. And I didn't use these. I didn't try to use them. But I realized that I already had this like coppery peach color in them that I had in these here. And again, I was trying to keep this necklace short. I think this necklace is like 20 something inches. Guessing. I didn't use these because I ended up using the olivine green here because it matched these, and I had the 6 millimeter drugs right here. I had to use these flower beads to pull it together, so it would have been weird if I used those. Alright. And empty bags. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empty bags. Okay. Now, I would have had 6 empty bags because these little Capri Blue Czech fire polish beads, I ended up making this necklace, and then I moved on to another subscription that I got. And I got these adorable, what are they called? Ceramic cat beads. And I have a black cat in real life as a pet. I love her so much. I had rescued her. But anyways, I wanted to make earrings with these cats so bad. And I needed a bead for the top and bottom. And what I got in the other box wasn't working for me. Maybe some people would have liked it, but I didn't like how it looked. So I'm like, I'm going to see what that Capri Bluestone looks like with the green bead. And oh my gosh, I think they're so cute. So I ended up using the 4 oddballs that I had left over from this kit to make these earrings. Alright, so let's go over the design. Alright, so like I said, I was going to use the bee facing up. And it would have been, I'm going to zoom in, it would have been a pendant, right? Like this here, this is 2 sections of wire, bead string wire, okay? You can see. See how it's connected there? Okay, so this would have been one whole necklace, one strand, and then this would have been flipped over. I would have used a jump ring or split ring to connect the bee and have this, but on this side, at the bottom of the bee. Makes sense? But I realized if I flip it over, I can still connect the necklace, have this, but I would have a pendant down here, because if the bee is the other way, I would not have a pendant down here. And I just thought that was so cute. So it's up to you however you want to use the bee. Alright? So let's go over the pattern. And I have to admit, I did fuss with this design a lot. Like, it's not extravagant to me. Looking at it, it is kind of like simple, like basic looking, but it took me a while to decide on this whole design. Alright? So like always, I start at the front. I started with the bee. He was the most important to me, okay? And I knew that I wanted one of these down here, and since I had 3 of these that were upside down with the color on the back, and 2 of those like that, I knew that those, okay, I always start with the biggest beads first in my design. I knew that those were going to go there. And then like I said, with these here, I kept playing around with those other larger beads. I wanted to use them really bad. But because I had so much, also, not just the Capri Blue with the other bead that I was having issues with, because these are here are Capri Blue. Which one was it? Okay, so it wasn't just this one that was the issue when I had it here, or no, I had it up here. Because see, look, I have this Capri Blue fire polish. I had to use the fire polish beads. I just had to. I realized it was clashing because this was the same color here, right? Well, I wanted to use these down here, and I'm like, well, this kind of looks weird because I already have these peridot or olivine, whatever, green beads. So when I removed those and I brought in the blue, I felt like it really pulled the petal beads into the design more. So I eliminated those. I hope that makes sense to you. And this is what I went with. So I'm gonna zoom in. So this here was the first part with the petal beads that I did first, okay? I fussed with getting these right, and I came up with the beads down here. I actually made this with leftovers because I wanted to make sure that I had this exactly the way that I needed it to be. And then I saw the I can pull, I've talked about this in previous videos. I went up to the top of the necklace and I pulled a pattern down to here. So this right here is actually this. So from this green bead to this green bead is the same. Does that make sense? Okay, and then this here from the blue bead to the blue bead on both sides is this pattern right here. Do you see that? And then it goes to the green bead, which this is also green. That's a round and that's a flower. Okay? But this pattern here was pulled down here. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I can't explain stuff right. So I came up with this design. Okay? And then I used this off of the side, and then I ended up doing the back. I actually had some of these rounds in the back, but then I realized I didn't need them because of the flower beads. And this was longer is what I'm saying, and I had some green rounds at the back, and I took them off. Those are the leftovers that you saw in the baggie because this looked better short. So I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. Okay, so my little dangle here, I had to make sure that this was going to sit just right. And yeah, this swings back and forth, but it's not banging into this. Like, they're not touching when you're wearing it. It hangs just right, okay? So, a little bit closer. So what I did is I took a piece of wire and I put it through the wing, crimped it, and then I put my beads on. Okay, and I imagined, you know, what it would look like, and then when I was happy with it, I crimped it. But it's a 4mm, a cube, a 6mm fire polish cube, 4mm, a seed bead, and 11-0 dark Miyuki bronze seed bead, the 6mm druck. These are O beads, bronze O beads. Actually, they're not bronze. It's bronze over black, so they're darker than bronze. They're darker than my seed beads. And then the 4mm fire polish, the 8mm seed bead. I forgot that. The 8mm crackle bead, seed bead, and then I repeated this pattern over here. So 4mm O bead, 6mm seed bead, 4mm the cube, 6mm cube, and that there. Okay, and I crimped it. And then for the sides here, so I had a couple of O beads left over, 2 of them, which are the ones that I have here and here at the beginning. Because if you look back here, after this section, there's no O bead before this 8mm. So I had 2 of these left over, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take it apart and put those 2 at the front. So that's what I did. So it starts with an O bead, 4mm O bead, this amazing table cut bead. It is so beautiful. I guess it is a sapphire blue color. O bead, 4mm, 4mm, O bead, drucks. And these here are on 8mm jump rings, and I think it's like a 22 gauge. It's thinner than 20 gauge because I had to make sure that it can go on here and it can move freely. Like, this spins, okay? If it's too tight, it'll crack the bead or chip it. So after the 6mm, I did the O bead, 4mm, 11-0 C bead, 8mm, 11-0, 4mm, O bead, 6mm, and then I did the charm again. But like I said, I had to flip it because I think it just looks prettier with this color up instead of the copper color. Okay, so after these 6mm, I did the O bead, the 4mm O bead, table cut, O bead, the 4mm bead, okay, and then C bead, and then the 8mm. After this, I did another Capri Blue, seed bead Capri Blue, and I started going into the flowers. Now the flowers gave me a lot of length because they're much bigger than the 6mm green beads, right? So I ended up using all 8 of them. So I think got too far, didn't I? So after the Capri Blue, I did the flower, and it's reversible. So see, there's two different sides. 1104 millimeter cube, 6 millimeter cube, 4 millimeter. So this gets repeated over and over until I ran out of flowers, basically. Yeah. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 times I repeated that. And I finished it off with a 6 millimeter split ring and a lobster claw clasp. But that is pretty much it. I didn't go over the top like I usually do, but wait till you guys see the next 2 necklaces I am working on, because I have gone over the top with those. So this is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little video here. I hope that you found it inspirational and learned something from it. Be on the lookout for my upcoming tutorials. I am really excited about the ginkgo bracelet. Cannot wait to show you guys that one. And this is it. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.